Good morning, little chef. Welcome to day 29 of working as a chef on a yacht. I woke up at 5 a.m. this morning to prepare breakfast for the owners and our guest. The owners are staying on board, and I prepared them overnight oats, shakshuka, and fresh fruit. And our guests have an early flight this morning, so I packed them to-go breakfast sandwiches. And for crew breakfast, I just made some scrambled eggs for the first mate and protein shakes for the captain, the stew, and myself. To be honest, I enjoy waking up early because that means I get to enjoy the beautiful sunrise. On days like this where I have to start early, I'll usually take a nap around midday. People always ask, if I'm not in the galley, what am I doing? The answer is probably napping. So I just finished up my breakfast. I am working on my planning sheet for the next few days. And that's going to help me figure out what I need to get down to the hole. So we're going to go down to the hole in just a few minutes after I eat some fruit and drink some coffee. Whenever I go down to the hole, I always have a plan. I know the menu for at least the next 3 days, so I know what to pull from the freezers. I'll write notes down on my notebook or in my phone and take it down there into the hole so I can keep track of everything. I need to prepare for our next set of guests coming in, so I'm pulling a lot of proteins. The next set of guests are the owner's kids with significant others and nieces and nephews. It's gonna be a party. This next set of guests don't have any dietary restrictions, so we're going all out. The stew and I are the only crew on board right now. The captain and first mate are out with the owner fishing. So that means we're in charge of taking the yacht dog to the island to walk him. So we'll all hop into the dinghy and head to the island for a nice long walk. We'll usually bring a tennis ball so we can play fetch with him as well. After he's all worn out, we'll head back to the yacht so I can get back into the galley. Everyone has been really enjoying all of the ice creams that I've made in the Ninja Creamy. So the next flavor I'm trying out is pineapple. Just a whole can of pineapple with the juices. We're going to be underway tomorrow, and it's pretty difficult for me to prepare food in these conditions. So I like to prep as much as I can the day before. In terms of fresh vegetables, we are running pretty low on these. The only thing fresh I have right now are bell peppers, but I found some frozen kale in the freezer, along with ground lamb and feta that we picked up from the island. I decided on making Mediterranean stuffed bell peppers. This is something easy that I can pop into the oven and serve for lunch. Tomorrow we'll be heading back into Georgetown and docking at the marina. Out of all of the islands that we go to, Georgetown is the best for provisioning. The grocery store in Georgetown is probably about the size of a Trader Joe's, but here in Cape Santa Maria, it's about the size of a 7-Eleven. As much as I love the beauty here in Cape Santa Maria, I have to be honest, I miss the vegetables that I can get in Georgetown. Now, I do provision the boat with a ton of frozen produce on board, but I don't always want to dip into that. It's always better to have fresh ingredients. So I'm really never worried that we're going to run out of food. I just want to make sure the food I'm putting out is the freshest and most appealing to our guests. During the day, I normally prep for lunch and dinner, but when we're underway, that takes a lot of my prep time out. So not only do I need to think about what I'm serving for lunch tomorrow, I also need to consider dinner plans. We'll be getting into the marina tomorrow in the late afternoon, and that gives me little time to prepare for dinner. I'm going to stick with the Mediterranean theme and go with some Greek chicken bowls. I'll make some tzatziki with fresh mint and parsley that I'm growing on board. I'll make some pickled onions and a Greek salad, and this will get me a little bit ahead of schedule for dinner tomorrow. Today for lunch, we only have one of the owners on board, and she requested something light for lunch. Thankfully, I have some romaine that I'll make a salad with. The crew normally eats the same thing that the owners do, and I'm happy for that because they like a pretty light menu. Don't get me wrong, rich food is amazing, but in small doses. This isn't like a week-long cruise where I can eat whatever I want and then come home and detox. This is months at a time, so I have to make sure that I'm fueling my body with healthy food. The owners of this yacht are big red meat fans, which I don't have a lot of at home. So when that's on the menu, I'll just have a little bit because I know it doesn't make me feel too great. I love when fish is on the menu, and I'm really hoping the boys come back with fish today. My favorite thing to do with the fresh fish is make ceviche out of it. It's so light and refreshing. The captain actually taught me his recipe for ceviche last year, so whenever we get fresh fish on board, he comes into the galley and helps me make it. For lunch, I tossed some lettuce with balsamic vinaigrette and topped with hearts of palm, pumpkin seeds, radishes, craisins, and Parmesan crisp. After lunch, I did some more dinner prep for tomorrow. Here come the boys back from fishing. Thurston's excited to see his pops. Wow! Oh my gosh. Wow. Wow. The fisher dog.
Didn't make it. The onions, no garlic. Gotta find something else.
Yeah.
Maybe paprika.
I was so proud of these boys. This was the best fishing trip they had in the past 3 years. Of course, I had to take pictures with the fish because they were so beautiful, and then I could start prepping them. I can fillet fish, but the captain has years of experience on me, so he'll do it right there on the boat. The first mate will bring Ziploc baggies full of fillets into the galley, and I'll check for bones and cut off anything that I don't like. The stew will also be in the galley with me. She'll be in charge of vacuum sealing the fillets. It is so nice to have a crew that works together. If there's something that needs to be solved, we'll all come together and we'll help each other out. The boys came back with like 12 red snapper. We are portioning them out into vacuum packed baggies, and I'm gonna go store them in the freezer in the hole. Let's go. Alright. So this is the fish freezer right here. Plenty of room in it right now. Throw these guys in there. Now I'm back in the galley doing more prep work. Another thing that I will not have time to prep for tomorrow is cocktail hour. So I'm making a tomato pie. I'll put that into the fridge, and when they're ready for it tomorrow, I can just pop it into the oven. One of the owners can't have onions, so I'll do half with onions and half without. After I lay down all of my tomatoes and onions, I'll top this with some puff pastry and bake it off. Whenever we get fresh fish on board, whatever plans I had for dinner get thrown out the window, which I am totally okay with. I'll take fresh fish any day. Being a chef on a yacht, you have to be very flexible with your menu. The yellow eye snappers that the boys caught today have such a beautiful flavor, very mild, flaky white fish. This fish would be out of this world just by seasoning it with salt. But tonight, I'm seasoning it with some Caribbean seasoning and butter. I also have some plantains on board. I wish they were a little riper, but I'll cut those up and fry them up. I'll also make some rice and black beans to serve as a side. And for the final touch, I'll make a pineapple salsa. I'll take out the core, make long sheets of pineapple, and cube it up as small as I can. I'm trying to keep all of the ingredients in this salsa about the same size so it's really appealing to the eye. I'll throw in some lime juice, olive oil, salt and pepper, and give it a good mix. Plate it up, and dinner served. And to finish the meal, I did some granola with pineapple sorbet. Bye, little chef.